You can't join my table in the afro, babe. Hey, guys. And these your internet and akastracha and bag. Chala namanik. Guys, why? Why? Okay, Rakhadi must level with you guys. Rakhadi used that sound. Now, did I know it was problematic the moment I heard it? Damn straight. But also, I've engaged. Oh, what am I talking about? I'm going to add the clip here and I'm going to put the link in the description and then we can get into it. All right, great.
You can't join my table. Why ubuza londo? Ingakhiyo. You can't join my table ne afro yakho, babe. Join amanika. Hlala namanika. Awa niza understand nibe nithethe sneaker pha. Hlala namanika sana. Hayibo. Usikufuna uhlala nama owethu sana. Ama obhuti bendawo usikufuna uhlala nobhuti bendawo ube une afro no.
Now, if you aren't familiar with Zuki, she's an influencer, I guess, or a person who's done well on TikTok. I don't know. Like, is she an influencer? Oh, we'll unpack that another day because she's influencing who to do what. But I think the girl's quick. She has something. She has something that she could do something with. So I'm not about to act like or whatever, right? This is a viral sound on TikTok right now. I've used it on my work account. Did I know when I used it that this was problematic? Like, in all honesty, obviously, straight off the bat, I could hear it. We've had some hair discourse here within maybe me doing a review or something like that. I got into it when we were talking about Annie making a comment about what Sane had on her head. She was wearing some wig and everybody tried to downplay that as well. I just really think our hair is off limits to people who don't look like us, black women, that is, right? But also how we talk about our hair with each other needs to be changed. You being a black woman doesn't give you license to spew your anti-black shit and then it's just supposed to be Kiki, that was a joke. Jokes are funny, okay? If nobody's laughing, you may need to go and rework that joke or throw it out altogether. Or if people are challenging your thought or your joke or whatever it is that you said, you may need to step back a little bit and analyze some things. A couple of years ago, not a couple, way more than that, is her name Zuleika? Is it Zuleika Patel? I think her name is. She was a high school student at the time at a high school in Pretoria. I can't remember the name, if it was Pretoria Girls High or whatever, but she was a student there, and she presents as a biracial person. Presents like I'm not really sure what it's giving or how she's racialized, but that's how she presents. She's got a really big fro. She still wears her hair in that fashion. In most spaces, her afro is actually the kind that's celebrated versus how my afro was in high school. I also wore my hair in an afro throughout high school and I've got really tightly coiled hair, right? I locked my hair. My hair's been locked for probably like a decade plus now, but I had an afro. All throughout high school, most of my friends wore hair like that. I think I've explained that my influences growing up were on television. One of my strongest influences in terms of like how I wore my hair is obviously my mom. She locked her hair in like 05, I think. But also Precious, who had the program on there, Precious Africa. Liv Mashili was also big at the time. And I think her surname is it Kofi? Precious Coffee or something like that. She has a YouTube channel now and stuff, and she was the girl to be at that time, and she had this huge afro, and it was just, and her texture is closer to mine, if not exactly 4C, but her hair grows, you know, and we celebrate the fro when it starts to look like that. I was surprised when Zuleika trended at some of the comments I was hearing from people I went to school with here in Limpopo. People I went to high school with. I wasn't shocked per se. Also, these aren't people that I rate, so their views like don't really hold weight to them. But in my experience, a person who wears her fro more like that, or whose hair texture is like that and it grows big, they're the afro that we prop up, right? And then mine not so much. But people are saying things like, yeah, but it's unkept and it's unruly, and fine. This is a little bit ago now. Maybe people have come a long way since then. I don't think so. Not these particular people. But you look at something like that. I went to a high school where they had these weird racist rules that they've made around our hair. White people made these rules about hair that they don't have the faintest clue about, right? Some of the rules they made, they don't know what they mean. Like, dreadlocks weren't allowed at my school. By the time I almost matriculated, there were younger kids coming in and they had dreadlocks, but they didn't know. The people who made the rules didn't know that dreadlocks can be worn in so many different ways. So they didn't know to say that's not in the rules. It looks like braids to them, or it looks like whatever. Like, they barely remember our faces, right? Like, we're really not a thing, right? So you look at an environment like that where you're in high school and everybody's like, just wear your hair how the school rules say you must wear them. You'll be old enough soon and then you can wear your hair however you want to wear them in varsity, right? It's like, just take the racism for now and then later you won't have to. But that's not true, is it? It's not. Because within this exact discourse, we're having the conversation of young girls saying, or young women saying, young women of a particular age who are at the age where they can go out to clubs, that they're being snubbed at clubs, they're being turned away, they've been told that they can't sit in certain sections. This is not a joke. This is rooted in another person's reality. It's rooted in how somebody else has been humiliated for wearing their hair in its most natural form, right? It's a joke to you because you're not the person who's been turned away. You're not the person who had some random dude look them up and down at a club and say, no, you can come move your friend over there. See, that hasn't happened to you, so it can be a joke. It can function as a joke, and then if I say, no, but this is actually a problem, it actually seeps into real life where I experience discrimination because of it. Therefore, not a joke, right? Fine. That's just the club, so you consider the club, right? Now you're graduating, you're going into your entry-level job, and nobody else is panicking about how they're gonna wear their hair for an interview like a black woman. Nobody. Because you're not gonna be judged on merit. It's not gonna be about your credentials only, right? Now they're looking you up and down. You're being told how you're not a right fit for this office and how the culture, and yet, why? Because of how you were. So it's never nothing. The idea you guys keep trying to sell us about how not deep it is. Meanwhile, these coils run all the way down to my very soul. You're telling me about how it's not that fucking deep. What's not deep about it exactly? That's the other problem, né? You don't want to exercise this thing, or it's uncomfortable, or you have to sit in your anti-Blackness and that's uncomfortable for you. So you want to reduce it to, also, we can't make jokes now. Well, if you're not funny, yeah, you can't make jokes, bitch. Like, do something else. You clearly can't tell jokes. If this is the one joke you're going to hold on to for dear life, I don't even see Zuki so much defending it over and over again, but she's ignorant enough to do that. It's the other people who are running with it, saying we're trying to make everything an intellectual moment and everything is not discourse. This isn't everything. This is our hair. This is black women's hair. It's a serious core part of our identity, and we experience so much hate and discrimination for it. We have and we continue to. So no, it's actually one of the things that's not allowed to be on the table as something to joke about. That's why Chris deserved to have his fucking ass slapped across that stage by that Willard. Because that wasn't funny. Don't joke about Jada's hair. Our hair's never a joke. What's her name? This one in Real Housewives. She said Sane needs to come talk to her when she gets better hair. And I said I don't like it. I don't like it because women who look like Annie are often propped up right next to me because she's got a looser curl and I've got coils, right? And Sane was wearing some ugly ass wig. Was that wig ugly? Yes. Why is Sane wearing an ugly wig? Because somehow we've been conditioned in our heads to believe that even if the wig is ugly, it's still gonna be better than my coils. So I'm gonna take this kapopoto looking thing, and just be a skateboard like that because that's better than how my hair naturally grows out of my head. Do you know how mentally fucked we are to have that be our reasoning and our logic? Do you know how much work we have to do within ourselves to rid ourselves of this way of thinking? And then you think it's time, on top of all of that, to say it's not that deep and to make jokes about it. Let's also talk about how the lace fronts are fucking ugly. This is not the first time I'm saying it. You all look stupid. You look ridiculous with that stuff on your head. Then it MLLs. Rahari has been saying this, and I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to play the cute politics where it's like, oh, I think every woman can wear her hair how she wants. You obviously can, right? It's a free country. Through Jesus Christ who gives you strength, I mean, you can do what you want to do. It can still be ugly and weird. It can still be lifting and then it's like, what is that? Right? It doesn't look nice, guys. A lot of you are sacrificing your hairlines and your wigs are never that laid. Like, they've never been that laid. I even get the girls who just put on the wig and go. It's a wig. Why are you trying to make it look like it's growing out of your head? It's not. Wear your wig and go. Like, that actually tracks. This stuff of the, oh my God, no, lace is melting in. No, it's not. It's doing everything but that, actually. So first of all, it's ugly. But you have the confidence in that mess to tell a person who's wearing their hair similar to me or how I wore it before I lock it that I can't sit at your table. Except for God to be glue, what the fuck you all have going on at that table anyway? That's so serious. Where I can't sit over there. Really? And then it's not that deep. You all have to make it. Those are the people who want to discriminate against you. The people who are saying it's not that deep are the people who are at the club saying, the guys especially who are defending this, they're the guys who are saying you can come in, you can come in. They're the guys on the interview panel who are saying she just doesn't fit the aesthetic we're going for the office, right? Meaning you don't have the fuckability factor that they're looking for. You will continue to experience this discrimination around and about your hair as a black up until Baulokela in the casket. It's not gonna stop. So I don't know when it gets to be not that deep. Like, that's my main confusion. I don't think it's because people are lacking range, contrary to what people want to say. People know exactly what they're saying. They know exactly what they're doing. They hate their hair. They don't understand the nerve of you to like your hair. I'm sitting there after doing all that got to be stuff and it's not entering, right? I feel like I've put in all this work and to be treated like a human being, because that's why we do the stuff we do, right? We want the world to be kind to us, to treat us. Sometimes maybe we even want extras, we want perks, we want nice things. But for the most part, we just want to be treated like human beings. So we have to, as black women, because we don't quite qualify like everybody else, we have to work extra hard to get that basic like respect that everybody else gets, like Jen and Jen for existing. We don't get to do that. We must audition for it. There are things that we must do. So I've done all of that work, sat there for hours, with hair dryers, and like I souped and it lifted and I had to enter it like this again and sit there like this and do that. And then the nerve of you to think you can show up in all your glory and goodness how God made you after I've put in all this work. So it's a lot of hate and resentment going on there with us that we don't want to talk about, right? You can't sit at my table because I feel like I worked hard to sit at this table. And you think you can just come and sit here and you haven't done nearly as much work as me. Truth be told, you really shouldn't have done all that work because it doesn't look nice. Again, it really doesn't. Guys, I don't know why we're lying to each other about the lace stuff. Like, truly. Except for a tutorial online, which you can edit and do stuff. I haven't in person seen one of these wigs where that like mosquito net thing is not like distracting me. And I've said this to you guys, like I don't know how many times I need to say it. It's not cute. It's not. Like I don't have to lie. Like I'd rather look ugly with my natural hair growing out how they then go and wear ugly. Like purchase money and put it on and pay to look ridiculous. Are we serious with that? Like, why are you guys lying to each other? It never looks nice. I don't even want to act like it never. It's fine if I don't get to sit at your table, babe. It's actually good. Like, I'm trying to not sit at your table. People are gonna see pictures of us together, and then they're gonna be like, "Nagita jamu, why come moju raidi? You know even raidi? What about the guy? What about the guy? It's always lifting. It's never not lifting, cause it's hot, you guys. It's a humid. But the point is, black women want to run away. Black South African women in particular want to run away from discourse around hair. Always reduce it to it being not that serious. I see some of you are still putting relaxers on your daughter's hair, like little girls. I'm like, you're doing all of that? I see some of you natural hair girls or girls who wear their hair, who have their hair locked like me. A lot of you are now like putting relaxers, texture release things. That's what you guys are calling them now. Around here to soften your edges so you can have that she's biracial look where you can soup the hair so they can try to treat you like a human being. Baby, we've got work to do. We've got so much work to do. I'm like literally raising a little girl who's always trying to straighten her hair. And I just want to keep her coils for as long as possible. She'll do it later. I don't know why we don't like our coils. One of my friends is always like, oh, we can't do anything to Mangma's hair because, her auntie's going to be like, her coils. That's me. I'm the problematic auntie. And listen, they'll be grown enough and they'll decide that they want to wear their hair how they want to wear them. But if we aren't going to make room for each other as black women, or allow room for the conversations that need to happen when these moments happen, we're doing ourselves a disservice. A lot of you, it's giving traction alopecia now. The lace fronts have done away with those hairlines. And a hairline is a very delicate thing. I'm a person with locks. I experience a lot of things regarding my hairline and having to take care of it and feeling like it's doing whatever. But it's I didn't apply for it with God to be glue, unlike you guys. But that's it. That's the chat. It is actually that deep. Nobody wants to sit at that fucking table. No way. Bye.